Today's video is sponsored by Helix Sleep. Now, listen, I know there's been many times here on the channel where I've very dramatically expressed my love for some kind of food or snack, whether that be Lucky Charms, Pringles, Chipotle, to name a few, but there are not words to accurately depict just how much nothing else in life can hold a candle to my love of Cheez-Its. It's the reason my friend Lindsay made me a Cheez-It pillow that's been behind me all this time. Look how good this is, by the way. It's the reason I have a custom Cheez-It box with my face on it. It's the reason I go through 2 to 3 boxes per week, pretty much. There is no better midnight snack. Sometimes I eat half a box for lunch. Very healthy, I know, but they're just so perfectly crunchy and salty. Every single one of the flavors are diverse and equally delicious. And as a result, obviously, I've been wanting to do a video devoted to just Cheez-It related foods for forever. And when I saw that Cheez-It themselves was opening a restaurant with a fully customized menu of some wild looking Cheez-It creations, I knew I had to head up there for some inspiration. It would have been way too hard to pick and choose off of this menu, so we ordered one of everything, starting with the mac and Cheez-It. Let's just say I'm happy I wasn't invited here, and I hope the Cheez-It people never see this because it was pretty awful.
I tasted it was made last week.
It was very dry and bland. It was giving no Cheez-It whatsoever, so I moved on to the cheeseburger. Once again, outside of the Cheez-It that they just place on top of the bun, where is the Cheez-It in the rest of this? The burger was quite dry, a skosh overcooked. Luckily, things definitely turned around when I got to the big grilled cheese, also the cheesy chicken tenders, because they were both great. The grilled cheese was like just shoveling mouthfuls of crushed up Cheez-Its, which was great. I would say the filling could have been a touch hotter, and also while the chicken could have been a touch cooler, I almost singed my esophagus off with those things. And to finish things off, for dessert, how about easily the most viral Cheez-It milkshake that has been seemingly everywhere? I couldn't do it, guys. I know this combination probably exists in some places, but big chunks of like soggy cheddar cracker mixed with ice cream, it's not for me. All in all, it was a mixed bag. I'm still happy I made the trip, and one could say that I feel inspired. Now for our Cheez-It inspired menu, let's just say we're gonna go in a bit of a different direction, with recipes ranging from very simple to maybe a bit more challenging. And it is a great thing that I am well rested and up to any and all tasks today, thanks to my friends over at Helix Sleep. Helix makes premium mattresses and bedding that are customized to fit your needs and are shipped directly to your door. They know that everybody's got different body types and sleep preferences, so they developed their very own sleep quiz to match you up with something perfectly from their lineup of incredible mattress offerings. I think we're going on 3.5, maybe 4 years now since I myself took their sleep quiz, and because I'm a back sleeper and I like a medium to firm mattress, they matched me up with this guy, and absolutely nothing has changed. From night 1 to last night, I have been getting incredible sleep. If you sleep with a partner, you can take the quiz together to find something that's the perfect compromise for the both of you, and unlike a lot of other brands, Helix mattresses don't contain any fiberglass, which could potentially be harmful to your health. And still, my favorite part about Helix is that anywhere in the US, you can get your mattress delivered right to your door for free. It came rolled up in a box and could not have been easier to set up for a smooth brain like myself. And if you're nervous to buy something you haven't tried yet, Helix offers a 100-night sleep trial, so you've got over 3 months to make sure you love your mattress. Plus, they offer a 10-year warranty, financing options, and a flexible payment plan, so a great night's sleep is never that far away. So if you're in the market for a new mattress, I beg that you click that link in the top line of the description to head on over to helixsleep.com/David Seymour and take advantage of their Memorial Day sale, because right now, until May 30th, you can get one of their Elite or Luxe mattresses for 30% off plus 2 free pillows, or take 25% off site-wide. So head on over there, and as always, thanks so much to Helix Sleep for supporting the channel. So at that diner and across the internet, I feel like we've all collectively taken the Cheez-It as far as it can go. So I think we should begin today by reeling us all back in here, start at the basics, and make a homemade from-scratch Cheez-It cracker. Very simply, I grabbed some flour and ice water, butter, salt, and cheddar cheese. If you couldn't tell, this is a Nara Smith recipe, which actually only just came out a couple days ago, so kind of crazy timing on all this. As you can probably imagine, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of recipes across the internet for homemade Cheez-Its. but so many of them are so complicated. It's just a cheesy cracker. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. I wanted something simple, something that looked like it ended up half good, and I've wanted an excuse to make a Nara Smith recipe anyway, so here we go. You shred your cheese, mix it with some amount of flour, salt, and water, also with a few knobs of butter. Allow that mixture to chill, roll it, chop it into squares, finish it with its iconic little hole in the center, and bake them off. Did I think we were gonna get a perfect replica of a Cheez-It fresh out of the box through this process? I did not. Did I also think they would come out looking a skosh better? Maybe not so pale, a little more appetizing? Yeah, I did. I do have to say, I popped these back in the oven with the oven off because I figured I had to let them sit to cool down for a while. I also had to run out to do something really quick. And in that 15 minutes, they look way better. I just assumed it would help them dry out a little more, but they picked up a little bit more color. All right, Nara, I respect it. They are very good. They are very crunchy and cheesy. They could use some more salt, even just a little sprinkling on the top, like the actual crackers have. My favorite part is how light they are, though. They're so airy. Even this entire bowl being filled, it still feels like I'm holding nothing. It's just like the weight of the bowl. I'm assuming that's from the butter melting, obviously the chunks of cheese melting too. But these are really good. Pleasantly surprised with where I thought we might end up. For the main course, I think we should head back to that diner because I can't get that mac and cheese out of my head, and what a letdown it was. It had so much potential. It sounded so good on the menu, and it was a bigger letdown than a JoJo Siwa dance routine, so let's see if I can't Davidify it and really make it Cheez-It worthy. I grabbed some white cheddar Cheez-Its and flour, whole milk and elbow pasta, sharp white cheddar and Gruyere, some butter, cayenne pepper, and salt and pepper. Before I forget, shout out to everybody I met that day at the diner. I wasn't really expecting to meet any of you peeps, but I was pleasantly surprised. Also shout outs to the PR girl who I talked to. You were very sweet. I love your company. I just had very high expectations for the food. Maybe that's on me, but getting back on track here. I graded a ton of the Gruyere and cheddar. I'm not sure exactly how much I'm gonna end up using, but better to have more than not enough. And the secret sauce to this one is steeping the Cheez-Its in the milk. We've done this once before, I think maybe with a Cheeto recipe, but it works. It imparts all of that cheesy flavor, all of the powdered coating kind of dissolves in the milk. I used all of that steeped milk and dumped it down right into my roux. One handful at a time, I added in my cheeses. I made sure to season it well. I boiled off some elbow pasta, combined the two, and then finished it with a very healthy amount of crushed up Cheez-Its. I was very tempted to Weissmanify this thing and add some MSG or buttermilk powder to the cheese. I mostly just wanted to show how easy it would be to keep things simple and make a really elevated version of the one from the restaurant, so let's see if I was able to do it. It's that time of the year where I'm gonna be glistening in all these videos, so sorry. I'm kinda shocked I haven't thought of doing this before. Just topping every single mac and cheese with crushed up Cheez-Its. Now this is a goddamn Cheez-It mac and cheese. I feel like a beauty mac and cheese guru. It's well seasoned, it's beautifully creamy. Even if I didn't put the crushed up crackers on top, I would still taste the white cheddar. But honestly, I feel like I could have pushed it even harder. Or just added some other cheeses, maybe like a Parmesan. I would say it has room for even more like explosive flavors, but I will be making this again. This is very good, and it's a very big upgrade from the restaurant, even though I may have lied even if it wasn't. And for today's final dessert course, I discovered something that I was equally traumatized by, as with the milkshake. It looks like the brainchild of a mythical Chef Josh, or somebody who was heavily inebriated. It is the ultimate Cheez-It Apple Pie, and to make that, I grabbed some sugar, Cheez-Its and flour, ice water, a bunch of apples, and cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice, some butter and salt, 1 egg, and a lemon. Although I am heavily skeptical of this thing, and I will remain so until I taste it, I will give it a little bit of grace, because the more you think about it, people do add lots of fruits like apples and grapes onto cheese and cracker boards. I'm not sure if those two will make a seamless trio with warm spices such as cinnamon and nutmeg, but I guess that's what we're here for. I started with the crust, which I was thrilled to see came together fully in the food processor. Ever since the first time I did this, I have never made a pie crust or even pizza dough any other way. It's just way too convenient. You do have to chill that for a very long time, at least a couple of hours, to let that butter firm up again. Otherwise you won't get that flaky crispiness. Although, you may get that regardless with how much Cheez-Its are in this. I believe it was 2 cups of the crushed up crackers, and that's quite a lot. I'm assuming it's gonna be all right up front. And we're gonna garnish the finished pie with some more crackers, so there should be no confusion as to what is going on in here, at least from the appearance perspective. I then peeled, cored, and sliced up my apples. I used a mix of some red and green. I just like the different textures, the different sweetness levels. And I believe the rule of thumb is anywhere from 6 to 8 apples per pie, depending on how large they are, obviously. And those are gonna get a nice tossing in, let's just say a lot of sugar, cinnamon, a little bit of flour to absorb that moisture, before that all gets dumped down into our rolled out pie crust. Very optionally, I made a lattice for the top. You could just roll out another flat piece and lay it right over. And this was all going pretty seamlessly, I would say, until the baking portion. Halfway through, I was gonna pull it out and add my Cheez-Its on the top so that they didn't burn. And about 40 minutes in, it was on the verge of burning anyways. There was no way it was gonna last an additional half an hour plus without that crust overly browning, so I covered everything up with some foil. After baking, I allowed it to sit out at room temp for a very long time, otherwise we just would have had an apple soup. And upon slicing, it is time to find out if this thing's gonna hold up to that milkshake from the restaurant. Let's say I hope so, because the bar is very low. I'm just tired. This is really good, but I'd be lying if I said I would have known there was Cheez-Its involved in this if it wasn't for the ones on the top. Which is kind of shocking considering how much of that crust is composed of Cheez-Its. But I guess when mixed with everything else going on here, or maybe during baking, those flavors get very muted. There is no cheesiness whatsoever. It's just cinnamon, apple, a little salty, sweet. Again, it's a great apple pie, and baked very well, might I say. But I was kind of anticipating a blast of like cheesy cinnamon apple, but in hindsight, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world that it underdelivered in that regard.
With the M without the AD. Flipping burgers and my money super lazy. Try and make a meal tonight, they ain't paying me. Try and supersize my life with my 18. Yeah, our style wasn't wavy, but we had a vision.